Oh, hold on. Hang on. There we go. We are live. Okay. Looks like YouTube is going good. All right, sweet. Yeah, I think Twitch, I've already started it. Okay, awesome. All right, everybody, welcome back. My finger is still in pain from last week, but it's getting a little bit better. I'm now able to type, so that's good. We're gonna just do a little bit more trapdoor modeling. I'm almost done with it. It is literally just the actual trapdoor mechanism and specifically just the top part of it. I don't know if we're gonna finish it this stream, but we should get pretty close to being done with it. Let me see. If I go to, there we go. So yeah, we're really close to finishing this thing. If you can see, past couple of days, I've basically done the bottom of this trapdoor. So you can see there's the little, I'm guessing it's like the firing pin kind of thing. You have that kind of like nice smooth groove, a little hole right here, kind of like the locking mechanism, as well as this thing right here on the back. So it's literally just this this top portion and little handle, and that's it. And once I'm done with that, there's a couple of small little things I need to do, some beveling, just kind of smoothing the edges, excuse me, on the barrel and stuff like that. And then I found another reference image for the bayonet. It's a little bit different than I kind of thought, so I'm going to make some small modifications to that as well. And then after that, that's pretty much it. Then this model is done, and I can finally start texturing it. So yeah, we're just going to try to finish this today. Hang on a second. Show me all the messages. Thank you very much. All right. So, yeah, I have a couple of things I kind of want to touch base on. Let me see, where in the hell is that? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there's a couple things I want to kind of touch base on. So, number one, I did say a couple weeks ago that we were going to try to do like weekly posts on our social media accounts, on our platforms like X and TikTok. We haven't been able to do that, mainly because it was just kind of trying to find good content. After that first week, me and my social media manager have been talking about having more quality instead of quantity posts. And so we've been just trying to find the right kind of footage to work with. And just a couple of days ago, I finally got around to actually getting some footage. So, hang on, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my reference images to see. Let's just, whoopsies. Let's just start by adding some bevels. Okay, so anyway, not bevels, edge cuts. So anyway, yeah, that's the reason why. So we haven't had that many posts on our accounts, but that's gonna probably change this weekend, or maybe next week. So, and hopefully that's gonna be consistent moving forward. What else? So I'm going to be talking a little bit more with my manager on that one. Just get rid of that for a second. Okay. So there was a couple of things I noticed. Last stream was the first time we went onto Twitch, and I noticed that about kind of close to the end of the stream, the stream basically broke, like completely, just like disconnected and then reconnected. And unfortunately, the problem with that was it basically made like duplicate streams. So if you've noticed, like there's just like a bunch of like random like clips from last week. That's why it just sort of just went kind of nuts at the end. So something I've kind of learned moving forward. Let me see if I can get this right. Something I kind of learned moving forward is I want to keep these streams to less than an hour and a half. So I have basically a clock right here to tell me when I need to end the stream. Because if I go too long, my computer is just not going to have a great time. Okay. So, oopsies. Didn't want that. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan, is just an hour and a half for each of these streams. But I do have a lot of plans. I was going to try to do some changes this week. You might have noticed I've changed the banner at the bottom. Updated some of the links and everything. But I actually have a couple more things I want to be doing in the next couple of streams. One of them is song requests. I kind of like breaking some of the silence in some of these streams. So that's, I tried figuring out how to like set that all up, but it's just, it's taking me a little longer. So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but it's definitely something I'm gonna try to keep working on. Let me see. Do we got any? No, it's okay. I was just checking the chats. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. What else did I have that I wanted to talk about? I guess the thing I should also mention is next week, whether I finish this model or not, because again, I'm getting really close to finishing this thing. But whether I finish this model or not, the next week I'm going to be doing probably some coding instead. There's, whoopsies, that is not what I wanted. There is some things that so basically I have, if you've seen the Discord, you probably already noticed this now for like a couple of months. I have a checklist of like items I need to complete before this game is ready for Alpha 2. And if you've seen that checklist, you will know there's very, very little that's been crossed off. There's some, and some of the things are of course out of order, but very, very little has actually been crossed off. I want to change that. I want to start crossing off a lot more items. Because the truth is that some of those items are just going to take a long time, like of course the modeling of these weapons, but then some things are just going to be like super quick. Like I know one of them was like adding sound effects for the artillery models, the new ones, and it's like that's not going to take long. That's going to take like probably a whole day. That's it, if not even that. So definitely try to get some of those out of the way. Finish all of that. So yeah, next week is going to be a lot more in-engine stuff. I guess you get to see what the game currently looks like. It doesn't look too much different than what it was, over 6 months ago when I made that last YouTube video. Doesn't look too different, but yeah, it's getting there. So yeah, and then yeah, as I said, I would like to do like things like song requests and stuff like that in future streams as well. Kind of break up that monotony. I'm a little confused by that. Oh, let me see something. There's a weird angle. See, that's kind of like a wedge. If you can see my cursor. So let me see if I can try figure out how that looks like. Oh, Okay, that's... Well, let me see if I can get a... like, I have, like, at least, like, 50 or 60 different reference images. I have to now, like, just, like, search through and find which one. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Right, okay, so it's not... Got it. That's why this doesn't make any sense. So, this thing. I'm actually going to just get rid of these two faces because it's going to look something more like that. Yeah. From the reference images I can see, it seems like that's pretty much supposed to kind of like protrude a little bit. The question is, though, I need this to basically be perfectly aligned, which it doesn't. There's a slight slant, I know that. Where is it? Where's the image? Yeah. Right about there. Okay. Yeah. Okay then. So yeah, yeah, as for next week, I'm kind of thinking maybe to focus on the cavalry units, because that's the one thing that definitely needs to be changed for Alpha 2 and the Steam release. Basically, I need to modify the movement a little bit because the movement's very, very floaty and not very precise. So I think kind of the what the hell happened there? I think kind of the plan is to try to make at least the movement a little bit better, as well as also to try to add the melee combat, which is going to be a little bit different for the cavalry units compared to the infantry. Because the cavalry, they're going to actually be equipped with swords and sabers. So I kind of want to try to implement that as well. That's either going to be in next week's live stream, or that's going to be at some time after that. Let's see. Okay. Based on what I can see, it looks like... Yeah, okay. It's pretty damn long. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's not going to work. Okay. We might need to add some more cuts here. But make that slanted. That's going to be flush right there. And then bada bing, bada boom. Right. Okay. Yeah, there was another thing I wanted to try to do this week, but I just didn't get time to do it. And that was to try to do better at promoting these live streams. I've been posting the stream like links on like the Discord, and I just did today the YouTube channel. And I was hoping about posting it maybe on other places as well, but yeah, I'm just kind of, again, struggling to find the time to do these. So, but that's definitely something I want to try to do a little bit better moving forward. Okay. Yeah, this is going to look kind of strange. I'm not going to lie. Okay, we're going to raise this up a little bit. Shoot. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, and then there's another. There's another thing that comes out. Damn it. Hold on. Right, hold on, because that's supposed to, I think, sit right on top. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. God, the angle of this is going to be really weird, though. I'm not going to lie. So it's probably going to be something more like, hold on, that. Whoa. Flicking through a bunch of tabs right now. My bad. Okay. Yeah, so it sits a little bit on the wood portion right there. Obviously, this needs to be flush. So let's just do that. And then that. Okay. Yeah. Just a smidge like that. So anyway, let me see if I... Yeah. That was definitely one thing I noticed with the old model was that the actual hammer and the trapdoor wasn't aligned at all. So it looked just really goofy whenever you would see the animations. Thankfully, of course, things were in motion so much that nobody would really notice it. Plus, it was kind of facing away from the player. So it didn't look too strange, but yeah, definitely like the more observant eye would have probably noticed it. Okay. What we want to try to do now is try to get this to be as close, come on, as close as we can to the metal. Which is going to be right about there, I think. This part can be a little bit flexible, but there we go. Okay. Unfortunately, again, I'm going to have to move this just a smidge if I don't break anything. I spent a long time on this last week. Not last week, just the other day. So I definitely don't want to mess this up. Okay. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's this gap right here you notice, so we need to move that just a smidge. Like that. There we go. If we check, yeah, it doesn't need to be completely flush. There can be a little bit of a gap, but it needs to be mostly hidden. Which it is, so. Just the front. Perfect. Let's see what that looks like. Did I damage it too much? No. Looks good. Okay. Awesome. This model's gonna look sick. Yeah, there's that handle right here, and if I'm not mistaken, on the actual gun, this actually twists a little bit. It's not completely static. So there's maybe I might well, I'll model it with this, but then separate it and then rig it separately. Or that might just be, I might just kind of hide that a little bit and just make it as one. There's already going to be a lot more bones and moving parts in this gun compared to the other models. That's for sure. Okay, so what I want to now try to do is get this curve. For that, we're definitely going to need probably some bevels for this, just to make it nice and smooth. Whoa. Okay, and then that's already flush there. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Make a line. There you go. And now we extend that. Okay. So right there. And then about right there. Okay. Yeah, on the old model, I remember this was the hardest part to model just because there was so many weird, complex geometry that I had to actually try to connect. And that was when I still really tried connecting all the vertices. Like you can actually see, hold on. We'll take a really quick break. The old model, so this is the old one. And the top doesn't really have too much of it. But yeah, you have things like this where you have these super long polygons, which means that the textures are going to get stretched because I had all these beveled edges, and it just looked terrible. And I think there was somewhere else on here as well that just looked really, really bad. Again, I was trying to, okay, oh god, yeah. This, right? Look how many polygons I have right here. Again, I was just trying to connect everything back then. Yeah, you have weird geometry over here as well. So the thing I've learned since then is that it's okay to have objects kind of overlap with each other as long as they're not completely connected. So here you can see that these are actually two objects right now. This I don't want to call it an axle, but this thing that the whole mechanism rotates on, it's actually a separate object. I'm not going to try to connect these. I might maybe connect the top of it, but the rest I'm not going to connect at all. It's just going to be disconnected, and that's going to save me a lot of the headache I would have had to normally take to actually try to fit everything all together. Let's see, so yeah. So that should be about right there. That's going to be about right there. Obviously, that means we're going to have to move this up. Like that. And just because of the way this is shaped, it's not going to be completely flat. It's kind of like a bit of a slant from what I can see. Yeah, definitely the trapdoor is the hardest thing to model out of this whole thing. But definitely the hammer is pretty... It's got some weird things going on as well. And I kind of blame having all these exposed components, these moving parts. It's kind of one of the reasons why this gun has taken so much longer to model compared to the other ones. Like the Krag and the Colt I modeled in about a month, right? These newer revamped models. Whereas in this, I mean, I started this in July. I wasn't able to work on it the whole time, but yeah, since July. So this is easily the longest I've ever spent on a single firearm. That's probably why I'm not going to be waiting much longer to make another YouTube video. I was going to try to do the Spanish firearms, try to model those, but it's like, yeah, it's going to take way too long before we even get to those. So I might as well just kind of get it over with right now. Okay. Yeah, okay, I forgot there's a bit of a curve right here. That starts about right there. Oh, geez. Okay. This is going to be really tricky. So what I'm going to do is this. We're going to add the faces here. So let's see, add an edge. And then I'm just going to go manually. Actually, it's much better. Let's do that. That. Okay. And then that just goes down all the way to there. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna see me lock in a little bit on this part, just because unlike the other parts of this gun, which are kind of easy to model, they're pretty straightforward. Again, this is just, there's so many curves, and so there's just a lot more thinking that needs to be done while I'm doing this. Let's see. Ooh. Ew, what the hell happened there? Oh, okay, I see. I was wondering, like, why is the gap wider here? It's because yeah, okay. Can I get a top view? Hold on. Yeah, okay. Let me take a look at some of these other reference images. So let me see, Springfield Trapdoor door. Do I have caps lock on? Yes. Moron. Okay. God, some of these images are just terrible. It's like no detail whatsoever. That's on the wrong side. Okay. I might be actually doing this a little bit wrong. I think... Hold on. Get rid of this. I think we actually want this to conform with... Yeah, but that just looks weird. What are you talking about? Yeah, but no, it definitely... Okay, yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm kind of surprised by that. So... Okay. So what I was trying to do before was have this weird, kind of almost like overhang. And that's definitely true, like right here. Like there definitely is a bit of an overhang. But then after this curve, there pretty much isn't one after that. It seems to be, for the most part, basically level. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to need to just subdivide that. Grab this guy. And just start moving this to make a nice curve. Like that. And then those should just be basically just straight down. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely... Again, this is the hardest part on the whole model. That's why I left it for last. Because I knew I was gonna struggle hard with this one. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move these up, and that way I can add a couple extra faces to this thing. Not faces, vertices. Get a much smoother curve. Let's see, how are we doing on time? 30 minutes. Yeah. Funnily enough, so this week was the end of Windows 10, like the standard like service. And so I had to upgrade, not to Windows 11. I can't on my computer because it's too old. But I was able to get what's called extended security updates. But it took like 3 or 4 hours because it kept trying to sign me into my Microsoft account, which I haven't used in like almost like 10 years. And I had to do like a bunch of like reg edit stuff, like registry keys and stuff like that. It was a pain. In the end, I actually got so like confused. I was like, holy crap, I don't know what to do. I had to ask ChatGPT to help me out on that. So that was fun. That was like a whole like 3 hours of just pain and misery. But hey, I get to still use Windows 10. Which in my opinion is honestly better than 11. I do not like 11 at all. My laptop has that, and it's annoying. It's really damn annoying. Okay, this curve matters a little bit more, so I'm gonna try to keep things aligned with that. Jeez. this is gonna be a real pain in the neck to actually. Oh man. Okay. Let's just try to get just basic shapes here, and then we'll try to smooth it out and bevel it. Actually, that is, I think. No way. Really? Yeah. Okay. And then from here, I think, from my reference images, it looks like it's pretty much supposed to be flush. The top and the bottom. Yeah, I just don't get, like, hold on, let me take a look one more time. Yeah, that's just really confusing. That's just really, really confusing. It's like I have no idea. I think it's because, yeah, okay, I see. There's, again, this like weird like curve right here where my cursor is. And this stuff above is actually supposed to be slanted. So like all of this is actually supposed to look something more like this. Yeah. So this is gonna be, again, really difficult. Let me see if this beveling is gonna make it look somewhat nice. Almost. That's almost kind of there. That's pretty good. See, smooth. Whoopsies. Okay. Yeah, the only thing is that, again, by the time it gets to here, pretty much needs to be like there. Oh man, it's behaving so weird. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think for this I'm just gonna do this one at a time. This just needs uber precision. Okay. Something like that. How does that look? Oh, that's much better. Okay. The problem is okay. I've met another dilemma. It's so all of these points, right? They're aligned with the curve from the top, which is good. But they're not aligned with the height of this, which is supposed to be much, much lower. And trying to drag this down is obviously just going to look really ugly. Yeah, that looks nasty. Yeah. This is gonna be a while, guys. Unfortunately. Oh my god, no. Yeah, this is gonna be a while. Okay, hold on. Let me just quickly save before I do something really stupid. Okay. Okay, by there we can definitely, yeah, that's all aligned. And this part is fine, but it's, oh my god, I keep misclicking. This part is just, oh, that's gonna be killer. How does it look like on here? Like, in all honesty, like, this needs to be there. In that case, it should probably be something more like that. Like, okay, hold on. Grab that. And just move it down a bit. that even straight? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oopsie, let me check. Okay. Yeah, my apologies if the stream occasionally goes black while I'm doing this. I have it set up that OBS is supposed to be capturing this window, but sometimes the thing just kind of, it misunderstands it, like as if I'm closing the window. I'm not, I'm just minimizing it because I got so many different windows open. That would be the one, I guess, benefit of, you know, with a new computer trying to get like a multi-monitor setup. One, so I can actually read these live stream chats when I get them. But two, so that I can actually like see all the reference images without having to just like flick back and forth. It's just, yeah, unfortunately, that's just gonna have to wait. Wait on that. But excuse me. That's nasty. That's nasty. You know, I think we're just gonna need another point. Another 2 points probably. Didn't really want to do that, but yeah, just so we can just keep this somewhat aligned. Yeah. I think it's kind of necessary. What the hell is that supposed to be? Oh, that's the bottom. Alright, just because that's confusing the hell out of me. Bye. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, okay. All of these, I think, are just, yeah, completely off. Okay. Let me see, how are we doing on the chats? Looks like we're doing fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Does look a little bit weird. And again, this little piece right here, this is supposed to be nice and smooth. Unfortunately, yeah, it's just, this shape is just really hideous. like that. Yeah, that's probably as good as I'm gonna get to getting this thing to have somewhat of a, yeah. Yeah, that is just a very, very, very weird mold. Okay, alrighty then. We're just gonna modify that a little bit, just so we get a nice inner curve as well, and whoa, no, that's not what I wanted. I thought I'm pressing M. There you go. I'm still again suffering with my hand, so I'm having to do, oh my god, I'm having to do things with my middle finger instead of my index. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, because we have these triangles up here, I'm just gonna try to like that. I wonder why it's doing, is this not level? Ah, come on, don't tell me that. Nope. What, really? So that, hold on. No, that's not right. That can't be right. Yeah, no, that's not right at all. Guys, I am struggling. Oh, man. Okay, no. Okay, sorry, I have to scrap that. That's just not what it's supposed to look like, is it? Am I overcomplicating this? Hold on. So again, what I'm seeing, and again, I can't show it to you on the recording, but is it's supposed to be sort of, again, like a curve, But then there's also supposed to be another curve going that way, and then this is supposed to be all slanted. Which is like, okay, fine. That is just such a weird curve. Curve. I might even have to scrap all of that. I literally just tried fixing that and see, this is what I was most worried about. And we're almost actually at time as well, so yeah. As I said, very good chance we're probably not going to finish it. You know, we're getting close to finishing this, but it was a very, very good chance that probably wouldn't finish it today. Okay, hold on. Get rid of it. Here's what we need to do. Grab all of this. Nope, not that. Grab all of this. Okay. Just yoink that down. Like that. And rotate that. Flip. Okay. Where am I looking at? There we go. Move it over there. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah. That's, I guess what it's, I mean, minus this stuff on the back. It's just so weird. It's just such a weird looking part of the gun. Like, I'll be honest, I don't even know what this, like, curve even is supposed to even serve. It does literally nothing. I understand like the slopes and stuff here and everything, but like that is just such a weird. They added this random curve for no reason. It's easily the hardest part to model. Easily. But yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay. I'm just gonna do that for a second. Let's just move that up. Sometimes when you're modeling these things, you just get things wrong. So for me, I would rather this thing be as correct as I can possibly make it. Okay. That needs to be there. And that there. Okay. Whoopsies. And then that goes there. Like so. Awesome. Okay. I now have to make the painful choice of getting rid of all of this, which I spent like the better part of almost 30 minutes making. Sorry, guys. But what needs to be done needs to be done. So it was wrong. And that's... I want to say that's supposed to be better. But it's not very smooth, I've noticed. Probably because it's just flat, yeah. Okay. What I need to keep in mind is this. And my brain is having a hard time with this because it's just so weird. This is supposed to be slanted. Let's just do that. And it's actually, well, even that's weird because it's not slanted straight, it's slanted at an angle, at a really, really goofy, stupid angle. Let's see, grab this, so it's supposed to be just about even. So a little bit further. Like there. Oopsies, that's not it. Perfect. And then okay. Yeah. So there's basically kind of like a rounded kind of edge going on, with that being kind of like the top. And then everything to that is supposed to be slanted. So in other words, that is supposed to go look like that. Actually, this needs to go even further. It needs to go like something like, geez, yeah, like there. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay. And then if that's basically, whoopsies, that's basically supposed to be the edge right about there. And this is actually supposed to be kind of almost running parallel to that. So, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry. I looked at chat. Apparently I got, is it like a bot that watched my, hold on. That might be a bot. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what it is. We're almost going to probably call it time. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not make nearly as much progress as I would have liked to. Yeah. Also, let me fix this. Put that all the way there. Perfect. And then Z, go all the way. It's actually not going to be perfectly flat. Hold on. Has a bit of a dip. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. Hold on. Okay. There we go. All right, let me just check one more time if we got any non-bot comments. Yeah, I don't think we do. Yeah, it is what it is. Good news is that all of these live streams, they're, you know, I have the VODs up for them on YouTube, so don't worry if you miss out. But anyway, yeah. Okay, and the last thing is that this needs to go down. And let's just try this really quickly. I wanna stop pressing N. M. Your finger. Okay. That looks nasty. That looks nasty. Are these at least straight? They are. Okay. Maybe the idea, the move is if I do something like that, and then we just align that. Ouch. How does that look? Okay. This part looks fine. That I will definitely say, yeah, that looks fine. Take a look, turn off wireframe. What we do need to do, we need to make the bevel a little bit more pronounced, because there is an edge. That was the real problem I've been having, is that there is definitely like a noticeable edge, but it's just so faint. That I think hopefully, yeah, that definitely, yeah, fixes it a bit. Okay. I would have loved to actually keep going and try and finish just this portion, but obviously I did say early on that we were only going to do this for about an hour and a half, just to, for the sake of trying to keep this stream healthy and not falling apart. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have to kind of end that, I guess, here. Let's see. So yeah. Anyway, again, next week we're going to be doing some more in-engine stuff. So that's going to, again, probably going to be with the cavalry units, doing some more coding there to actually try to get the cavalry units to actually be a little bit better to actually play with, smoother inputs and stuff like that's better movement. And then try to see if I can implement that sort of like melee combat system with the cavalry units. That's going to be the goal for next week. And then in the meantime, I'm going to be doing my best to try to finish this model. I always say I want to finish it by X or Y, and then I usually miss the mark completely, so I'm going to refrain from doing that this time. But I definitely want to try to get it done as soon as I can. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, well, anyway, so thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.